What's the stupidest animal and how has it survived not getting extinct? I swear to God, frogs are the stupidest animal alive. They're somehow dumber than fish if that's even possible. They're probably one step above fungi just because they can move. There is absolutely zero processing going on in their brains. Even the action of capturing and eating bugs with their tongue is involuntary, as I don't think they even feel hunger. It just so happens to be beneficial to them, so they just do it. They manage to survive that long because they breed in huge numbers and food is plenty where they live. God, they're so stupid. Well, the concept of an animal being stupid is quite subjective and often doesn't fully capture the complexity of their behaviors and adaptations. Every species, no matter how it may be perceived, has unique qualities that have helped them survive in their environment to its niche. So what may seem like a silly or weird behavior to us can actually be the key to their survival. It's a fascinating reminder of the incredible diversity and resilience of life on Earth. Koalas have one of the smallest brain-to-body mass ratios of all mammals. To add to that, they're also smooth-brained. The eucalyptus leaves they eat provide next to zero nutritional value. When koalas are born, they latch onto their mother's assholes and suckle on the processed leaf juice from the mother's poop. Why? Because they're not born with the gastric tract to digest eucalyptus leaf. They also can't really tell the difference between a branch of eucalyptus on a tree versus on the ground. They also have chlamydia. Hey, that's a tricky question. It's not really accurate to label any animal as stupid because each species has unique adaptations that help them survive in their environment. Evolution is pretty cool in that it helps organisms become better suited to their surroundings over time. So, even if an animal seems a bit unconventional or makes choices that we might not understand, it's likely they have traits or behaviors that have helped them thrive and avoid extinction. Nature is full of surprises. Panda, they literally weren't mean to survive. Tea plants because of how lazy they are. They do not want to hunt, which is what causes them to eat a lot of plants and basically spend all their day eating, because their body aren't made to digest that. They're also just really bad at surviving in general. The only reason they still exist today is solely because humans liked them, and thus protected them. Without humans' intervention, there wouldn't be any panda left. My leopard gecko. There is a cricket in her enclosure that has been sitting there for a week now, and she just doesn't want to eat it. I can't get it out cause that bastard hops like its life depends on it. So it just chills there. Here is a demonstration of an average leopard gecko hunt. -1 A leopard gecko's comments 12 Yaobi I love him so much. UTM source share UTM medium web 3x UTM name web 3xs UTM term 1 UTM content share button. They legit has 0 brain cells. That's the trick. To have just enough brain cells across the whole species to still be successful. No need to waste calories on extra brain power when dumb, but fruitful works just as well. I'd nominate A forms. They can tell light from dark, up from down, and how humid their environment is. But beyond that, not all too much. Super successful. More total biomass than all vertebrates taken together. Thousands of species, none of them intelligent. Calling an animal stupid might not be the best approach, as each animal has its own unique adaptations and survival strategies that have allowed it to thrive in its environment throughout evolution. Even animals that may not seem intelligent to us have traits that have helped them survive over time. So, it's all about perspective and understanding that every creature plays a role in the delicate balance of nature. Homo sapiens, otherwise known as the modern human, arrogant, violent, cruel, greedy, stupid bunch of monkeys. I mean, pick up a history book and you'll see. We might be more advanced, but we're still the same stupid shit-slinging monkeys from 300,000 years ago. And we're gonna be a bunch of stupid shit-slinging monkeys in the future, if our species still hasn't somehow managed to kill ourselves off. Rabbits, they just freeze or run into the street. We had dozens when we first moved to our new neighborhood, counted 30 for one time just out walking. Only seen one in the past year, since hawks and owls moved in. Had one rabbit living in my backyard, saw it in the morning and walked out later, just part of it left. They tend to just graze in the open. Fair game for the avian predators. Hey, they're actually not fair to call any animal stupid, because each one has evolved over time to survive in its own unique way. Every species has its own set of skills and adaptations that help them thrive in their environment. So, it's not really about being stupid or smart, but rather about being suited to their surroundings. Nature is pretty amazing like that, don't you think? Hamsters, they're prey animals through and through, to the point where they blink with one eye. They sleep like they work 12 jobs. They eat their own poo. If you put them on a wheel, they'll spin so fast they backflip off it. If you Google how smart are hamsters, the results will try their hardest to not say they're idiots. They are my absolute favorite animal. My brother got an idiot French bulldog, so we asked Alexa how smart French bulldogs are. She politely said not very in so many words we couldn't stop laughing. Plus, they can only be bred through human intervention from what I understand. Plus, they can't swim, and this idiot walks around the pool all day. I could go on and on ... but just ask Alexa lol. Pandas, they're fat. They're lazy. They're not interested in procreating. And they can only eat one specific type of bamboo that is so lacking in nutrients they have spent their entire day eating. If not for the China soft diplomacy of shipping them off to zoos around the world, they'd have been extinct decades ago. Seahorses are pretty bad. The biggest trait is that they have a bunch of specialization for gripping kelp to not get blown away by ocean currents. But the problem comes that if they let go at the wrong time to grab something, they get blown away by the current and don't have enough locomotion to get back. Pandas, why eats bamboo? They're scared of each other, so they rarely breed. And when they do, they never realize they're pregnant until out pops a baby so small that it often surprises the mother into killing it. They're supposed to go extinct, but we shouldn't let them. They're awesome. Being smart has never been a prerequisite to being successful. We overestimate the importance of intelligence and assume it correlates directly with the success of a population. But that's just not the reality. Long after we are gone, insects and nematodes will remain. Koalas, heard in Australia if they have trees in their yard on either side of an in-ground pool. They have to string a rope across it or koalas will drown running straight to the other tree. Not sure if it's true, but also heard the eucalyptus has somehow reduced their brain size. Koalas are so dumb that they cannot recognize their one and only food source if it's not on a branch. They have survived because their diet is an incredibly toxic tree that humans have no use for. And they're riddled with chlamydia, so people don't hunt them for food. Pandas, they can't even procreate well. If your procreation relies almost solely on another species helping you along, you're terrible at survival. Edit, I'm not too proud to admit when I'm wrong. Thanks, Redditor. Peacocks, they are invasive to Florida and occupy several neighborhoods here, simply have no concept of standing in front of cars. Letting people move lawn mowers in circles around at least put some effort in. Canadian geese, how has no one said these shitting bastards? They live because they are protected by a treaty. They are aggressive honking assholes that will shit all over. And when they are done, they will come back next year to do it. Cats, even if they are my favorite animal, they run through the road when there are cars passing by. They climb up trees really high, only to realize they can't get back down. They get in fights with each other for literally no reason. Humans were clever enough to build the means of their own extinction and proliferate it among a bunch of enemies, and leave the whole thing an eternal cliffhanger. Yes, we are the smartest ape of all, but too clever by half, I suppose. Koalas are literally smooth-brained. They don't recognize eucalyptus as food if it's not attached to a tree. And that's the only thing they eat. They survive because they mostly live in trees and don't have a lot of predators. Pandas are too lazy to fuck each other. It's ridiculous. They'd rather sit on their fat asses eating bamboo all day. Zoos have to desperately try to make them breed. And they're just too fat and lazy. What a fucking useless animal. Giant pandas, probably, despite being built like a carnivore and having no real way to properly digest it. The only thing they eat is bamboo. Even if they had extra stomachs for fermenting ore, bamboo is still poor on nutrients. It's shocking how many birds are stupid. Ostriches are dumb off, which make them dangerous because they're just big and dumb. Which makes me wonder about dinosaurs if they were just giant big oafs that did dumb shit. Fainting goat, it's the funniest animal I've ever seen. If you scare it, it will stiffen up and tip over like it is dead. I don't know how it has survived. I just know breeders have bred it specifically to do this. Cockroaches. I would be the first to rejoice if they ever became extinct. Absolutely no human being wants or likes them. They are unwelcome anywhere they go. So why they still exist and are doing well is beyond me. NS are the stupidest animal species, since humans are the only species on this planet which has developed the capacity to destroy not only its own species, but also every other species on this planet. Most primitive animal is probably Trichoplax adherens, a member of the Placozoa phylum that feeds on algae through external enzymatic digestion and still survives simply because algae still survives. Sunfish, many of them are swimming around with giant chunks missing after a shark took a bite. They also die if they go to the surface because once they do they can't go back down and just float there. Japanese land snails. Most snails hide inside their hard shells until a threat of danger passes. But this Japanese land snail will come out of their shells and throw their shells at their predators.